Morning monkeys, John from Yorkshire Monkey here. Hope you're doing well. Right folks, I've not seen this website before, but it looks very interesting. It's ukcorruptpolice.com. There's all sorts on it. Now the one I'm looking at here was from November 11th 2020, and Lancashire Police and the IOPC in hot water for protecting a police officer who committed perjury. Why don't that surprise us, eh? Lancashire Police will now be forced to investigate a police officer who intentionally lied on oath, resulting in Mr Ponting being convicted of a criminal offence. CCTV was allegedly illegally withheld by Inspector AJ. The CCTV proved the offence of perjury. Mr Ponting was forced to seek court order for the evidence to be released. Evidence that saw Mr Ponting's unsafe conviction immediately overturned without an appeal trial. Inspector AJ, who illegally blocked access to the evidence, maliciously tried to convince the judge that what he believed Mr Ponting would somehow manipulate the evidence. An allegation based on nothing. He was desperate to have the evidence buried. The judge saw right through this dodgy cop, and said the evidence must be released and can be viewed together, to the dismay of the inspector who preferred it buried. Inspector AJ had tried and failed to stop footage being released, perverting the course of justice, should I say. The footage was inspected by the CPS barrister and Mr Ponting's barrister minutes before the appeal trial. The CPS barrister immediately offered no evidence for the appeal, and Ponting was acquitted. The footage was conclusive. Lancashire Police lied in court. The footage was devastating to Lancashire Police, especially to PS, or the liar, as it proved he did kick Mr Ponting twice, a fact he denied on oath. That resulted in Mr Ponting being found guilty of a criminal offence. The lie by PSO was absolutely material to the case, making the offence of perjury made out. DPP Law of Liverpool have now agreed to represent Mr Ponting in a judicial review application that the IOPC has agreed to fund. They also are reviewing civil action against Lancashire Constabulary. Mr Ponting made his own submissions to the IOPC in a formal letter before action, LBA. The basis of the LBA was that the IOPC were wrong in failing to uphold a complaint made to Lancashire Constabulary by Mr Ponting. On receiving the LBA, the IOPC quite rightly conceded their decision, saying it was incorrect. I have agreed that their decision is quashed, overturned in brackets. The IOPC also agreed to cover legal bill for doing this, as it must be done by way of judicial review. The IOPC will likely now enforce Lancashire Police to record the initial complaint, something Lancashire Police desperately tried to cover up. Lancashire Police will defend this officer at all costs, however. Any further attempts to hinder this complaint of a serious criminal offence will be met by a legal challenge. PSO will face the courts, even if it is by way of private prosecution. After Mr Ponting made the initial complaint, Lancashire Police refused to even record it and tried fobbing Mr Ponting off with the incorrect appeal body. Mr Ponting made it abundantly clear within the complaint that the correct appeal body must be the IOPC. Lancashire PSD Lancashire Police will have known this because the incorrect was incorrect, so suggests that they are anything but professional. Lancashire Police instead referred the appeal to Lancashire Police and Crime Commissioner. This was overturned by the IOPC, was noticed by Mr Ponting. Once the IOPC were made the appeal body, the appeal was sent to them, fully expecting the complaint would be upheld. Mr Ponting was gobsmacked to see the IOPC were in fact defending the Lancashire police officer from any criminal investigation. What a surprise. This is when Mr Ponting took the extraordinary steps to bring a letter before action, something available to all complaints. However, the process is complex, and the authorities know that not many will proceed this far. To add insult to injury, QC David Nifton made absurd comments in separate civil hearing, supporting the fact that many complaints by Mr Ponting were not held up by Lancashire Police, in some way inferring Mr Ponting was making complaints. Well, I hope QC David Nifton can now see that his Masonic pals in Lancashire Police are not only failing to uphold complaints, but failing to even record them. And QC David Nifton, being about as low as you can be in the judiciary, part-time judge, hopefully will now be looked on like a moron from his superiors from the higher courts for his ridiculous assumptions. The full complaint to Lancashire Police, including their response and IOPC correspondence, will soon be published in full on. Now I will follow that up. It just shows how corrupt they are. They're all in it together. Just stick together. Make up the same story. Stick together. Terrible. Okay, folks. Let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for all your support. We're nearly at 4,000 subscribers now. And nearly 1 million views in 4 months. So, thanks everybody. Catch you soon, folks. Stay safe. Like, comment, subscribe.